So here are 14 pounds, or just over 14 pounds of beetroot that we took out of that amaranth bed. About 5 pounds of which are being boiled up in that big pan. About 3 pounds of that is going to be eaten over the next 2 days, but we are going to be pickling some of this using this Mediterranean vinegar that we've got there, and this is a video all about it. So I've washed, topped and tailed, as I say, I think about 3 or 4 pounds actually of the beetroot. There's about 6 of the biggest ones, and when I say biggest ones, some of them are as big as your fist in there. At least 2 of them are, and they've been diced into quarters, topped and tailed, and they're on the boil. Now that's going to go into those jars that I showed you before. So I'm going to boil those for about 15 minutes because they're big, and then I'll show you the next step. That's a stainless steel colander in our sink in the kitchen, and so what we're going to do now is tip the boiled beetroot, the big boiled beetroot, into there. Okie doke. So yeah, they've had 15 minutes at the boil, and they're just about right. Goes. The knife goes in, comes out quite easily. So you don't want them too overcooked, but you want to get rid of all the bugs. You want to make it so that they're quite tender once they've been pickled up, because these are going to be pickled. So yeah, next step is to drain the water off. Now you can drain the water off and drink it if you want to, or you can drain the water off and get shut of it, and then they're going to be diced up or sliced up so they can go into the jars. The jars have been pre-prepared in boiling water, cleaned out twice, so they're all nice and clean. Lids as well, especially the insides of the lids, and they're going to be ready then for receiving the beetroot in its pickling solution. So yeah, the next step is to drain off the water, cool them off in the cold water so that they stop cooking, and they'll be ready for pickling. Okay. So now's the time to peel the skins off. The skins will come off quite easily at this stage by rubbing. Yeah, like this. And once the skins are all off, they're ready for dicing up or slicing up for preservation. But you've got to get the skins off really, because they don't look very appetising, and you can clean up any little knots and root starts at that stage as well. So that's the next step. So we'll clean all these up, get all the skins off them, and then we can dice them, slice them and prep them. Yeah, so there's a couple of pounds of skinned beetroot there, ready to be sliced and diced for preservation. Yeah, so no real science behind this, just sliced and diced into either slices or So it's a 1/4 inch diced sections, ready for pickling up, which is the next phase. So we're going to get that pickling vinegar and start to fill our jars up with it. So the beets are going into the jars, that's the first jar, and the next step is to top it all off with vinegar. These are cool now, these beets, they're not warm, they've cooled off. We're going to top those off with the vinegar. Sarson's Pickle in 15 minutes Mediterranean vinegar blend. This. Now that's been taken from a donation that we actually had at work. These were donated, and about half a bottle of that should do to fill this jar. But we'll see how we get on. Now, as you can see, I've filled that up pretty much to the top. I'll tighten that up in a second. But there's very little air in there, and there's a lot of vinegar. All the beets are contained within the vinegar, so there's no actual oxygen or air getting to the beets, and they're within the vinegar solution. So there's one done. Got to get rid of the rest of that into those. So off we go. As you can see, on the vinegar, we've used a little over half a bottle of vinegar into the, and that bottle's probably, what is it, 350 millilitres. Cost me nothing, got it from work. If you were to buy it, probably cost you about £1. So that wouldn't be very cost effective, but because we got those for free, then we're using them. Mediterranean blend of vinegar. And there we go. And that's 4 reused jars, and there's a good couple of pounds there of beetroot. 2 and a bit, 2 1/3 bottles of the Mediterranean Sarson's pickling vinegar, and there we go, all pickled up. We've got tons more beetroot left, mind you, probably enough to fill about another, certainly 16 bottles, 16 jars. So I'm hoping that Mother McCree has been collecting those jars ready, but we are going to be needing probably another pack of the pickling vinegar, because we've only got 3 2/3 left, so it's took 2 1/3. So we're going to need some more of those, probably a couple more of those, to pickle up the rest of the harvest. So to pickle those up, recycled jars, just boil washed inside, washed on the outside, and yeah, I'm thinking probably about £4 or £5 worth of preservation materials to pickle up. Probably about £12 or £13 worth in weight of beetroot, and that should be enough to last us really through into the new year, definitely, for when the next beetroot are coming along, which is in about 4 or 5 months' time. We should be alright. Okay. Happy trails, boys and girls. Late on Saturday night now, it's about 12:15, and as you could probably tell from earlier, I have been down to the pub, and I've had about 4 pints of smooth beer. But we've pickled up some of our beetroots, which is good. So I'm going to put this up now, and well, I'll probably leave it till tomorrow, probably Sunday night, and you can have a look at that. Dead easy. It's not difficult. Boil them up, well, cut them, boil them up, skin them, and get them pickled off. Dead easy. So yeah, bit of preservation. See you later on.